So, bro, let's talk about Izzy getting stopped by Imavov.
That fight, obviously, Israel Adesanya, he's had a little bit of a hiatus. He's been on a bit of a losing streak, you know, so he took a bit of a break, blamed it on the schedule, and he just didn't look switched on. You know when things are going for you? Like his technique, if you look at it, he does a lot of things that he used to get away with, you know, maybe for other
Show
time.
me, what does it look like?
What he was doing is he was switching from southpaw to orthodox, like in quick, but in close range, too close, almost in mid-range. So if you saw the sequence where he got finished, just before that, he switched stances from southpaw to orthodox. And obviously with southpaw and orthodox, you've got the range and you've got the measure for the distance. He switches in, then Imavov comes over with that right hand, and from there, it was the beginning of the end. But basically, you know, I think, you know, when he's done it many times, so it's not to say that it wouldn't have worked. I just think, you know, he just didn't look sharp, and maybe age or focus, lifestyle, they say it's very hard to get up when you have silk sheets at night. So, you know, so maybe that's what it is, but it's not looking good for him at the moment. It kind of reminds me, reminiscent of Anderson Silva when he was on the decline. Take nothing away from Imavov, because French fighters are on a tear at the moment.
What's next for Israel, do you think?
Back to the drawing board, you know. I don't even know where he goes from here. Lost to Sean Strickland. This was meant to kind of tee him up because obviously Sean Strickland is fighting against Dricus du Plessis again for the middleweight title, so that's a rematch. And should Adesanya have won this, the UFC cash cow would have like chucked him in. Now he has to go down the pecking order. And the problem is, you know, it's either he goes up where Alex Pereira is, don't think he wants that, or he goes down. But you know what the funniest thing was, right? In that fight, there was a moment just before the knockout. He tried to do that Jamal Hill, Alex Pereira moment where he got the low kick and said, hold on, relax, you know, and then, because the ref tried to stop it to give it time, because he had an eye poke. But, you know, he was like, Alex Pereira moment, no, it's okay, I'm good. And then, bam, gets knocked out. So, you know, had he just taken his time, he probably wouldn't have got knocked out. So, man, but, you know, these are the moments you live for. Respect to him, though. He took it like a champ, and I'm sure he will be back, hopefully.
David Benavidez and David Morrell. If I said it correctly.
Oh, my goodness.
Talk to me, bro.
Hey, the Mexican monster, El Monstro. You know, I picked David Morrell to win this fight. You know, it was a 50-50 fight, reason being both evenly sized, both evenly matched. But what was telling was the experience of David Benavidez. David Benavidez, he is an absolute monster. And his experience was telling. He's had 30 pro fights. David Morrell Jr., he had 11 fights. This was his 12th professional fight, although more pedigree than Benavidez. Benavidez, he just fought a higher-level opponent, and it was telling. You know, in that initial parts of that fight, it was fast-paced. David Benavidez, he surprised me with his defense. You know, he comes forward, but he's more defensively sound than I've seen him. You know, he had a nice high guard. He moved things. Sometimes he was a bit elusive, but he caught most of the shots. He took a few shots because Morrell, slick operator, head movement, kind of kept it low, kept the range, came up with shots. But Benavidez, he had more of the sharper, crisper shots, and he was putting a punishing on David Morrell Jr. David Morrell Jr., you know, valiant, you know, showed heart, came into it towards the end. You know, it was a very, you know, one-sided victory, but it was a tough fight. David Benavidez said it was easier than he expected. He was going to say that he's been chasing Canelo, but that fight's not going to happen. But now it's looking like the fight end of this month is going to be interesting because he just looked a bit sharper than I've seen him. He looked more impressive than his previous fight. This was a tough opponent, although inexperienced. David Morrell, he's a slick operator, and he will be back, man. He kind of half dropped Benavidez in the 11th round. It wasn't really a drop. It was more off balance, and it caught the arm, and he went over. So it was ruled a knockdown, but it wasn't really a knockdown. But David Benavidez is going to be exciting, and light heavyweight, he wipes out the likes of everyone else apart from Dmitry Bivol and Eyesbeterbiev. I can't see anyone in that light heavyweight division that is as crisp and as technical, but as ferocious as him. He has this square stance, right, which is almost Mike Tyson-esque, and he's just there, and he's long, and he's just in your face the whole time. The pressure, the volume, the precision, his shots, the shot selection, uppercuts to the body, horrible. Pressure was just too much, but credit to him, he didn't get stopped, so I reckon he's got some heart, and he will be back, man. But fascinating fight. It was a bit of a war. It was in the early parts. It was very like high intensity, high paced. But man, love to see it. So hopefully,
Exciting
he
times.
fights Beterbiev next, because that will be a killer. Imagine Beterbiev come forward.
Do you think
David
there's a lot many
Benavidez
years left in
come forward.
Beterbiev?
Maybe
Another George
one more
Foreman?
fight. Maybe one more fight. If obviously if he wins, then the trilogy between him and Bivol is done, because that's 2-0.
Yeah.
So then Benavidez, he just won the interim championship. I think he's picked up 2 belts now, so interim and a WBA belt at light heavyweight. So that puts him next in line, and I can't see anyone else that the people would want to see. And I know anything you know about Saudi and Riyadh season at the moment, and Ring Magazine, Turkey wants to make the best fights, and the Mexican Monster versus the Crusher Artur Beterbiev is going to be an absolute banger. For sure.
Exciting times.
Cool.
Okay, so hold on a minute.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, looking like MVP now.
I wish.
Speaking of
MVP, yeah.
MVP shines middleweight debut against Shara Bullet. Did you think he was going to win?
You know what? Shara Bullet, credit to him. Dana came out and said the guy only has one eye, but that's no excuse. He's still a phenomenal striker. MVP was relentless. He showed us some really sharp improvements. He knew when to clinch, knew when to smother the work. His movement is hella awkward anyways, hella techie. Like, he's constantly up with that taekwondo-esque karate kind of style in your face. He makes it's a nightmare to read his timing, and he was just sharper than I've seen him. Maybe the move, the weight at middleweight means he has more, more energy, more strength, feeling better, because as you age, naturally it's harder to make the lighter weight classes, so you feel more comfortable at the weight. But he looked good, man. He took an O of an undefeated, exciting fighter in Shara Bullet. So, man, listen, it's going to be interesting. Can't wait to see it. And listen, I think for him, what's next is, where Adesanya's on the decline, MVP's on the rise, and this could be, some interesting matchups from him, because now, obviously, you're looking at the likes of, like I said, Sean Strickland and what's his name? Dracus Duplessis, next week. That's going to be a good fight. And I would like to see how imagine MVP versus Sean Strickland. That would be amazing. Nice fight. So there's some good fights to make for sure, 100%. So yeah, credit to him. And it's good to see him back to winning ways, because he had a bit of a, stop-start, beat Kevin Holland, and then lost to Ian Gary, because Ian Gary, kind of dominated with the grappling. And he showed some good kind of like takedown defense, good strength in the clinch, and he looks strong. So good to see from MVP.
And on that note, catch a goal.
Peace.
Catch a goal later. Catch a goal later.
Catch you all later. Peace out. A-Town down.